there are NFL experts out there saying that the Bears' job is essentially down to Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and former Dallas Cowboys and Green Bay Packers head coach Mike McCarthy. And I got to tell you, the Bears would be in great shape if they got Mike McCarthy. I hated to see him go from Dallas. He's a proven winner. The only times that he didn't make the playoffs in Dallas were when Dak Prescott got hurt. Now, I don't think the Cowboys were a playoff team with Dak this year. The roster had too many holes. Jerry Jones the roster got worse in the offseason, an offseason where the Cowboys were supposed to be all in. And I understand that McCarthy only won one Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, which is fascinating. I mean, I think it's a huge blemish on his resume, and it's a huge blemish on Rodgers' resume that somehow those two guys only won one Super Bowl. They had some great teams. I mean, they won 15 games one year and got knocked out in the divisional round of the playoffs. So, I understand that. But Chicago needs someone to get them into contention. They need someone who can even get them to the playoffs. They'd love to have the Cowboys' problems or the problems that their rivals, the Packers, had when McCarthy was there, where they'd make the playoffs and would underachieve once they got there. Chicago just needs to get to the playoffs at this point. And, I'm not 100% sold on Caleb Williams. I never have been. It's easy to say that I would have picked Jaden Daniels over him today, but that's true. I definitely thought Daniels, after watching him at LSU, was going to be a star in the league. I'm not sure. I thought he would even be as good as he is already in the divisional round of the playoffs. But regardless, McCarthy is a proven leader. He did not make headlines in Dallas with his press conferences. He was boring. He got the job done for the most part. In the playoffs, he failed. And I hate it, and I hold it against him. But, man, Chicago's just got to get to the playoffs. Mike McCarthy will get you to the playoffs. And right now, the hardest division in the NFL. He can do it. There's no doubt in my mind he can do it. He can win in cold weather. He's done it in Green Bay. And this is nothing against Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, I think, is going to be a good head coach, too. But we don't know what Ben Johnson is like as a head coach because he hasn't had to do it. And in the Lions locker room, there's no doubt that Dan Campbell is the guy. He's the alpha male. He runs that team. Everybody listens, and they have taken on his personality. And yeah, Johnson deserves a lot of credit for how unstoppable that offense is. And maybe they go on and win the Super Bowl. But McCarthy's available today. Ben Johnson may be a few weeks out. Who knows? And Ben Johnson may be, like I said, a fantastic head coach. But I think McCarthy is more of a proven commodity. And if I'm Chicago, man, I am signing Mike McCarthy to be the next head coach as fast as I possibly can, knowing that he's going to get me on the verge, the cusp of the postseason, if not more. And I just think he's the guy. That's who I'd hire.